Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to Summer of Sport. This is a summer-long BookTube event created by Mark at Book Time with Elvis, where we talk about sports writing, sports fiction, sports nonfiction, the type of writing that is still very popular but doesn't get a whole lot of play on BookTube. I've taken a break for a little while here in the summer of 2025 from Summer of Sport, but I am back. I thought I should check in, so I spun the roulette wheel for sports-related literature, but the roulette wheel has a heavy thumb on it because it's governed by the algorithm, the all-knowing algorithm, all these algorithms that run our lives. As if any of you have any need to wonder why I unplug at midnight every night, that's the reason. That's one of the reasons, is to get away from a world of algorithms. But I spun the algorithm, and you'll never guess what. It landed on gay hockey romance. So I read a gay hockey romance last night. I read Beau Brown's On Ice, which I believe is volume 1 of a series. I think I remember that only from the metadata. I didn't feel that in the book at all. In other words, I didn't feel in the book like I was expected to come in for the long haul. I didn't think there was a cliffhanger. I didn't get the feeling that I was coming in the middle of a story. Instead, I got a fairly straightforward gay romance that took some twists I did not expect. This is a story of a hockey player named Evan who is totally devoted to his sport and wants to succeed, to shepherd his team all the way to the Stanley Cup. When they get a sexy new owner, Luca buys the team. Gets to know all the players, gets to know everybody else. And there's an immediate attraction between Evan and Luca. And by immediate attraction, I don't mean that they kind of like the look of each other during an ownership swap meeting. I mean, they're steaming up the sheets right away. They're breaking out each other's Zambonis right away at the beginning of the book. But then they both, cooler heads, no pun intended, take over, and they start to think about what they've done and wonder if they're all compatible, and et cetera, et cetera. But there's chemistry there. And so as the novel progresses, the easiest way to put it would be that they both start drawing each other into each other's worlds. So Evan gets drawn very violently at first. There's one particular sequence where you think he's going to die. You just think the main character is going to die early on in the book. He gets drawn into Luca's world of organized crime because Luca is mobbed up to his eyeballs. He is a mafia prince, and he's part of that world. And he's bought the team specifically to further mafia interests. That's his original intent. But Luca also gets drawn into Evan's world of not only care, empathy, and affection, but also ethics, moral upstandingness. The book never puts it that way, but that's how I read it. That they in a classic way of romances, good or bad, old or new, classic or contemporary, tend to do, which is that it isn't just a question of the woman learning about the outside world, awakening, as the old cheesy old bodice ripper phrase used to be. It isn't just a question of that. It's a question of both of them changing each other, each person changing each other. Remember, I always say on this channel that the text for all romance novels of any kind, even gay hockey romance, is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And remember, when finally Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet talk about their relationship at the very end of the book, what I would consider the emotional climax of the book, that's exactly how they talk about it. They talk about the ways in which they have each changed each other in the course of their knowing each other. And that gets at the heart of it. And that is definitely at the heart of this book. Not to compare the two. I'm not comparing the two at all. But that is at the heart of this book as well. That's what made this book satisfying, is that Evan and Luca change each other. And there were two other aspects of this that I unexpectedly liked. One was a little thing. I don't know that Beau Brown is a real person. I don't know that that's not a pseudonym. But if any writer of gay romances, gay self-published Kindle romances on the platform that has a name like Bo. I instantly suspect that that's a pen name at the very least, or an algorithm at the very most. But one thing I wasn't expecting was a little thing. I don't think it's not meant to be a major thing in the plot, I don't think. But Evan's mother has advanced dementia. He visits her regularly. There's an incredibly touching scene where he visits her with Luca. And he's broken up by it. He's a very much in control character, but he's broken up by it. He's broken up by the horrible reality that a lot of people, maybe some of you, have dealt with when dealing with a loved one who has dementia, which is that the body is still there, but that the person doesn't recognize you anymore. So what is happening? What is that? That person, that collection of quirks and instantaneous memory and all the private terms and mentions and figures of speech, all of that is gone. That person is gone. But their body is still there. And there is a person in that body. It's just not anyone you know. And it doesn't know you. So what do you do with that? What do you do with the emotions that causes? I have been thinking a lot about that subject in 2025. And it's done well in this book. That is done well. I didn't see it coming. And the other thing that I wasn't expecting in this book that I was a pleasing surprise is something that I don't get often in my gay hockey romances. I very much get what happens in the first 15 seconds of this book, but I don't usually get spirited, knowledgeable, exciting hockey. And I do get that in this book. This book Evan is very much concerned with his sport. He's falling in love with Luca, and he has all sorts of ethical and personal conflicts with Luca's world, but he very much is involved in his sport. This is not like some of the gay hockey romances that I've read so far in Summer of Sport 2025, where the hockey is barely mentioned, where the characters they're in one acrobatic pose after another, if you know what I mean, and then after pose number 30, one of them will look at the other and say, "Oh yeah, hockey." That's not this at all. This is very much a hockey novel. So I enjoyed it. And if I can't remember off the top of my head if this is the first book in a series, but if it is, I might go to the second book. That's typically how I do. I mean, I'm sure that I got this through Kindle Unlimited or one of those free ebook deal things that I sign up for. I'm sure that I did. But my practice with those things is that if the book appeals to me more than a flat 50% of indifference, if it goes above that horizon, then I will buy the next book. The author has earned that money. They're never going to be in bookstores, so I'm never going to get them from a publisher. So I'll have to check and see. But I did enjoy this. So a fairly soft re-landing for Summer of Sport. So I'll wrap this up for now, and we'll see what I read tonight. Will it be gay hockey romance? I tell you, the burdens of being typecast. But I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.